So we just saw the biggest European war, I think, ever in this campaign break out in the last video. I mean, just every single country, I think, practically was at war besides Russia. I think what this is going to lead to is a breakdown in the massive Venetian alliance. Because as I said before, eventually Venice and Poland will border each other. Austria was the thin strip of land that was keeping these two powers from bordering each other, and because they are probably considered both great powers, I'm sure they probably both consider themselves competing for, what the heck, this is still a colony? That's crazy. Then I think that they'll both end up just hating each other, just like Byzantium and Venice did at some point. Because Venice and Byzantium, I believe, were allied until the fall of Greece happened. And notice that Byzantium controlled the Balkan region of the Byzantium Empire is starting to fall too, under occupation of Poland and Venice and stuff like that. Assyria got their butt kicked, pretty much. Assyria, I don't think, even really tried to attack the Byzantine Empire. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. And France is doing fine. I think that, I don't know how, but France has somehow survived an onslaught from both Venice and Spain. I mean, it's incredible. I don't know how France is able to do it. I don't know if it's going to last, but France has some sort of just power, I guess. I guess France doesn't even need an alliance. Imagine if France had an alliance. Team France versus Team Venice. I mean, they almost had an alliance here. They tried. They tried to get some of the minor powers to work together. I'm sure they tried to ally to Portugal. But France might be one of the only nations that could really compete with the Venetian strength. I don't know if the Byzantium Empire is going to lose anything here. They might. They could potentially. A lot of this stuff is going to Venice. Does Venice want any? No, they don't really want any of these lands. They probably are just trying to use this. Yep. And the war is over. The war is over. There's a very thin border now between Venice and Poland. That might not be enough to cause for a conflict. Right now, they have a very high opinion of each other. Here's the thing. Oh, but that did just go down. Notice how Poland didn't get anything from that battle, or from that war. It looks like they lost a little bit of opinion, maybe not too much. It will probably really depend on the fall of Austria. So Austria is still alive, and they still have all these alliances somehow. Austria now allied to Russia, Byzantium, and France as well. Pretty interesting now. Russia's allied to Assyria. I wonder if that's going to play any sort of role. Maybe Poland had occupations. They could have lost it last second. I didn't notice that they are losing any sort of occupations. Is Denmark still at war? They are no longer at war, and they even took things away from Sweden. They looks like maybe one or two provinces away from Sweden, maybe more. No, yeah, even more. So there you go. Denmark making some gangs in Scandinavia. Pretty incredible there. Okay, so we see, what is this? Persia versus Babylon once again. The Iroquois versus Canada. The Iroquois are actually losing, -44 war score. And then China and Japan once again. Again, while all these European battles and wars are going on, China's just over here and just gaining more and more and more strength, which is scary. I don't even know if the Europeans realize what's happening in Eastern Asia right now. But anyways, ooh, look at this. The Inca and the Spanish now have a border. We'll see if that ends up causing some major conflicts. And the Celts desperately just trying to find any sort of territory to stay safe in. And I don't think it's going to happen. Wow, I can't believe Canada is able to... The Iroquois must not have that much strength. They might look like they have a lot of strength, but I guess they just don't. I can't believe that Canada is able to win a war with the Iroquois. To be honest, just because Canada doesn't really hold that much. Oh, but notice that the Canadians had taken away all of the Celtic provinces that were remaining within this location. So maybe Canada has more strength than we're thinking. They just need to consolidate a bit more. Where are the Iroquois troops at? The Iroquois just had their military... Oh, they're banished to Ohio. They'll come back, though. I believe the Iroquois capital... is it under siege yet? Ontario? Is this it? Yeah, it is. So it is under siege. We'll see. But Canada looks like they might be pretty powerful. Let's go ahead and check on the Persian Babylonian War. Okay, so the Mayans are going to destroy the Shoshone here. I think completely, maybe. And Japan will probably also be almost destroyed. They'll stay alive, but they'll be, I'm thinking, almost destroyed. What are we going to check in? Oh, yeah, that's right. Persia and Babylon. Notice that Persia and Byzantium still have that alliance up, so keep that in mind. That might, that's something I'm not really anticipating. If Persia and Byzantium have a clear way, if Byzantium has a clear way to reinforce Persia, then they might both maybe, I don't know, have a pretty strong threat, maybe a pretty good chance, I should say, of defeating India. But we'll see. Anyways, Babylon has been pushed only into the Arabian Peninsula. They've been pushed out of, I guess, the continental Asian mainland. They also have Hormuz, though. I'm sure they'll lose that island at some point, but yeah, Babylon will be, I'm sure they're not going to survive for much longer. Most of this territory will eventually get eaten away, I think, by Persia. It really depends. But Persia looks good. Persia looks very, very good, I would say. Persia looks better than, I would think, I think Persia eventually could be better than a lot of the European nations, only because they have more potential of colonization. Russia might end up gaining strength if Poland doesn't absolutely destroy them. Now, when is that truce up? Russia's truce with Poland. Russia's truce with Poland is up at 1577. It's 2 more years. I wouldn't be surprised if a war gets declared almost immediately. Poland has all this strength. And we also saw them having a lot of strength in the previous campaign, I believe, as well. Something to keep in mind. Bam. Yep. So the Canadians are somehow they're doing really well. And I'm shocked. Oh, so some noble rebels are really giving Canada a hard time. They're going to have to go back at some point and go after that stuff. Did the Shoshone in their war just yet? Yeah, so the Shoshone are fine. I guess they're still fine. I think their colonization of Southern California really helped out. We have Carthage versus Rome. Oh, so Rome might end up being destroyed here. Yeah, somehow 90 war score. Canada has 90 war score against the Iroquois. That's incredible. Wow. Okay, so let's check on this. So Rome has only had one colony, one province for a really long time. We'll see if they get destroyed here. I don't think they really have a military at all. At least they used to. Now, not anymore. Is Greece a vassal yet? No, not yet. I mean, they might not end up being a vassal at all. We'll see. In terms of alliances, Venice is still allied to England and Sweden. England is allied to Sweden and Venice. Venice still has all of their major alliances so far. So maybe there needs to be a bit more, I don't know, maybe a bigger front between these two nations before anything really goes down. Yeah, their opinion of each other has actually gone up to 200 somehow. Border friction's only at -4, I guess, penalty. Not much at all. And I know that they've really toned down that whole border friction thing. It doesn't make sense. I think at some point, as the campaign moves on and more nations get destroyed and things like that, it just doesn't make any sense that these two great powers. I think they'll eventually realize that they're both powerful and they both can't be allied to each other. Usually AIs realize that at some point. Maybe not now, though. So even though Sweden has been getting their butt kicked, they're continuing to colonize here. More Hunnic rebels. I don't think I like this new blue occupation thing. Maybe it's just me. Maybe there's something that I'm missing. I have no idea, but I don't like it. I want it to go back to the black. It's confusing. Anyways, how's Indonesia doing? Indonesia still continuing to grow more Indonesia. I guess Indonesia and southern China is continuing to grow slowly. And Japan is kind of screwed here. That is going to be a very strong China. A very, 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 very strong China. But I don't know if that power is going to be enough at the end of the game for them to really make that much of a push. I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I have no idea. Persia versus the Huns. There you go. Persia and Byzantium versus the Huns. And whoa, and Poland. Why would Poland come to the aid of the Huns? Why would you be allied? First of all, why is Poland allied to the Huns? It's weird. That's really weird. So this might not be. Well, Persia will kick the Huns' butt. I think that's easy. That's an easy thing to say. But Byzantium is going to be in kind of an interesting situation. Byzantium's got interesting borders. Luckily, Poland has no navy at all, so they can, run freely. Neither do the Huns. The Huns or Poland don't have any sort of coastal provinces, I guess so they have no navy. So Byzantium can kind of do whatever they want running through their territory. But, you know, this might end up being a pretty messy situation at some point, this strait, if they ever have to fight Venice. Because then they'd have to go all the way around through the Black Sea, or north of the Black Sea, to get towards this territory. Which is why I think Byzantium has trouble protecting the Balkan region of their empire. I think it's a big deal. Where is Byzantium? So maybe Byzantium's just focused on the fall of the Huns. They are occupying a lot of this territory for themselves. I figured this would happen. I'm surprised that the Huns were able to get up an alliance, though. So the Huns will probably lose all this stuff. Then I think Persia and Byzantium will start to push back Poland. I think. We will see. Yeah, so this stuff has already almost fallen completely. Man, Poland's got a military. They've got a huge military. Here comes Persia. Interesting to see these, you know, Poland and Persia at war with each other. Two countries that are pretty far away, they're now fighting it out, which is kind of a common thing in these later games of EU4. Or when you get into like the moderate to late game, you see very interesting wars pop up. Nations that haven't been to war, going to war for the first time. Spain versus Portugal. Oh, man. But Spain has Venice on their side. I was just talking about that. That kind of almost a paradox, almost, where I figured, you know, I didn't think Iberia would ever break out into war. We have China versus Japan. China's going to take over Japan. Who is this? Oh, we've got more. Oh, French Louisiana almost. Almost. It's like French Alabama or Florida. But we'll see how that works. Canada going south of America now. Canada took quite a big chunk away. Oh, look at all this. I didn't even realize that they, you know, they have claims on all of like Canada, pretty much. Canada has claims on all of Canada. I guess it makes sense, but I did want to look at those borders. Anyways, let's look at Celtic Honduras. That is awesome. That is very cool. Yeah, we'll see what happens to the French. So what do they form? Oh wait, this is not a colony just yet. France is supporting the independence of Portuguese West Indies. Kind of keep that in mind. Yep, it's at 100% liberty desire, but right now, so I think when Portugal loses this really bad, which they are already, I think the West Indies will declare their independence. Definitely. So, yeah. I don't really know exactly what happened. I'm not sure if Portugal lost the alliance with Venice, and that's why this all occurred. Because I was very confused. That had to have been it, right? Well, yeah, they don't like each other anymore. I'm guessing that's got to be it. I'm guessing there's something that happened. Venice and Portugal no longer became friends. Maybe Venice called them in for the Austrian War, and Portugal didn't want to, you know, take the call to arms. So that's why the alliance broke down. So Venice was more than likely, you know, obviously more willing to help Spain. So Spain will grab a lot of Iberia back from Portugal. I think after this war, Portugal will probably lose their colonies even. Not La Plata, although that's a pretty big colony as well. 42% liberty desire. Nobody's supporting that independence though just yet. Brazil and the Inca might at some point, but not yet. West Indies really getting a bigger and bigger grip on northern South America. Colonization is kind of all over the place. I really like it, though. I very much like it. Yeah, and England's still trying to colonize. I got to give them credit for that. India, very slowly picking up territory. India, arguably, with the biggest military, the biggest isolated military. So Japan's still alive. Japan's going to be really preoccupied, or China's going to be very preoccupied with the Japanese wars and stuff like that, I think, which could lead to maybe a safer Indonesian South China colony. They might be able to keep this colony for a little bit longer. I don't think they're going to be able to keep it for that much longer. I wonder if the Indonesians have a bigger navy. They might, because almost every single province they control is coastal. So they might be able to get a bigger navy. Persia is at 11 war score. We've got Russia at war with Byzantium. And Persia, ooh. Oh, that's going to complicate some things. Spain's at 64 war score. Oh, so the Huns might stay alive here. Because now Russia is getting involved. Are they involved? Yeah, Russia by themselves going after Byzantium and Persia. Poland must have done that much damage. I'm guessing they did that much damage. Wow. Yeah, the Huns have, for the most part, pushed them out. Wow, really shocked by these developments. I'm surprised, actually, that Persia didn't have enough. Persia and Byzantium didn't have enough to, to be able to fight just Poland. I guess Poland's more, a lot more stronger, I guess, than we are giving them credit for. I think it's safe to say. Wow. Yeah, I'm very surprised. Even Russia could grab some of these provinces back. So I'm guessing they'll probably just peace out. I mean, what was that war declared for? Yeah, these are mainly just claim wars. Yeah, for the most part, these are just going to be claim wars. I think the Persians have their claim, which is going to keep their war score high enough. Maybe not. It's at 2. The Russians are losing their war score, or they're losing in terms of their war score, negative, what was that, 5 or something like that, negative 6. Yeah, Persia's losing fast their war scores. Okay, so Russia is at negative 6 war score. Persia at 0. Persia's war score has been going down with the Huns and Poland because Poland has done a lot more damage. See, what Poland needs to do... Oh, there it goes. That's exactly what I was going to say. Byzantium needs a separate peace. So now Persia just doesn't have to worry about it anymore. I don't think Poland could get military access. Maybe they can because Persia has military access through Byzantium, so maybe not. But that was probably for the best. Did Poland take anything from Byzantium? No. So that was also a smart move there. Well, that was good, I guess, for the Byzantine-Persian alliance. They still have that alliance up. Okay. Just making sure. So now Byzantium can kind of focus on just fighting Russia, which is still going to be tough. That will still be pretty tough. Poland black flagged has to go back to their territory, which is going to give Persia more time. Where is the Persian military at, actually? Oh, they're in Byzantine territory. So they also have to go back. It's really strange. Very strange things happening. We've got Assyria versus Arabia. Okay. Kind of two Middle Eastern countries desperately trying anything they can to, I guess, attempt to, grab more power. And Spain's at 88 war score. Wow. Spain's about to fully occupy all of this stuff. That's incredible. Now, Arabia's not that weak. I think it could be somewhat close. I think, man, I don't know. Now I'm starting to maybe question if the Persians are that strong. The Persian and Byzantium alliance, maybe it's not as strong as we're giving them credit for. Maybe India would be able to take on both of these nations. I mean, India needs to go to war, though. I mean, India's been so focused on colonization. They need to go to war. They need to get a front with Egypt or somebody. They don't have an opinion for Egypt towards Egypt right now. I mean, India might literally be the only nation that could stop China, I think. Could be possible. Whoa. What did you start to colonize here? I don't even know. Well, whatever. India's growing in power. These wars are still going on. I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for the results of the Spanish-Portuguese war, I guess, peace deal. Excited to see what happens there. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Arabia's at, or Syria, I should say, is at -3 war score. We'll see what happens in the Middle East. Both these powers really need to grow to face Persia at some point. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Jeez, the map is starting to look crazier and crazier every video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.